Beach waterfront, which is really exciting. I remember hearing about ferries to Manhattan when I lived in Brooklyn. That never ever happened. And I was on the BQE last week and it looked horrible. The debris was the same debris that was there 20 years ago. I mean, it was really ugly. So I hope you get to do, something with those public spaces.
Absolutely. Well, I would love to come back. I already said I would love to come back and see what's happening in West Palm, and we're initiating a ferry to the Rockaways this summer. So that will begin hopefully to get new water transport. And the state runs the BQE, and I hope they fix it.
Have you been to City Place?
No.
Please go.
Oh, no, I haven't. No. Yes.
Amanda, we hear that the Worth Avenue business district has been badly hurt by competing upscale shopping centers both north and south of here. How do we keep the business district vital and not let these others cannibalize the business here? Because I think we all think that Worth Avenue is a really important part of Palm Beach, and we don't want to see it deteriorate.
Well, it's a very, it's a delicate question because it probably means very carefully done more residential growth, and that actually keeps stores alive. And I know that's an issue here. How do you have more residential growth while not impacting both traffic and the beautiful, beautiful appearance of Palm Beach? Sometimes you have to realize that a certain population can only support a certain amount of retail, and that you maybe have to think of other uses and finding ways to just bring a new image or a new attraction or a new use that will generate more. But it's usually more, and you probably don't like to hear, but more residential development actually brings new life to the stores and new customers, because people don't go shopping every day. They don't go to a restaurant every day. So you do have to have more residential density, but it's a tremendous challenge.
Yes. In talking about Fresh Kill, that's the only time you mentioned that you met with a group of 35 or 40 people there. And I was just curious about how you dealt with the neighbors. And what did they say, and how did you get over their concerns?
Well, I should mention this. Every one of the rezonings has to build consensus with the community. And so I myself, even on 125th Street, we have had more than 180 meetings, 40 of them with myself, in terms of dealing with the concerns of a community, building consensus. In Staten Island, those 20 or so meetings that I had with the community, we had charrettes, and their concerns were about water quality, about recreation, and they actually didn't have concerns. We built a consensus around what people wanted, and that became the program. But most of my time is spent in the communities at night, talking to them, hearing them, listening them, shaping a plan that's really about their concerns, because otherwise in the end it's not going to get adopted. And that's really what all of these rezonings are about, is shaping a plan that a community really believes epitomizes both their hopes and concerns. Yes?
How would you like to see congestion pricing worked out, ideally, if it's possible?
Well, it has to happen. We have too many cars in Manhattan. Most of the cars in Manhattan, almost 80% of the cars in Manhattan are driven by people who live in Manhattan. Now that's crazy, because the transportation system is excellent. Or if they can afford it, then they should pay to drive during the most congested hours of the day. But there's no economic incentive to not do it. And so I think congestion pricing is absolutely essential. I think it has to be sensitive to those people who have to come into the city to do business and have to use their cars for one reason or another coming from the other boroughs. But the way it works now, and with studies that have been done, it's really the Manhattanites, the people who can afford it, that should pay the special tax to drive during those periods of time. So I hope it's supposed to be adopted or be by the state legislature on March 31st. So it's very anxiety producing right now, but it will change the way the city operates. And so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Yes?
The developments you're talking about seem to cost anywhere from hundreds of billions of dollars to even $1 trillion. Where's the financing coming to do this?
Oh, we've seen what zoning does is it puts in place predictable controls for development that can happen at any time in the future when the market is right. That's what zoning does, and you have to get the right zoning in place. It doesn't have to be built today, or next year, or in the next 10 years. But when it gets built, it should be built, tall buildings should only be built where there is transportation to accommodate it. So what our plan is not about building now, even though a lot of development has happened, it should be the right kind of building in the right place. Low-scale building in the right place, taller buildings in the right place. So most of what we've done is to just create the blueprint, the envelope, the predictable envelope for the future. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it will happen right at the right time.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
If there were no other questions, I just wanted to thank you for your time and thank you for answering our questions. What a tremendous presentation.
Thank you so much.